Hello everyone, I'm Krasi and I have very interesting, fascinating topic for today. And it is about the healing powers of the planets. The healing powers of the planets. It is amazing knowledge which is so simple, like everything which is genius, and it is based on the principles, each of the 12 principles of Hermes, but mostly on one of them. I will tell you what is the principles of Hermes. Just to tell you, before I read you, so that you hear literally how the principle of Hermes sounds, and many things will make sense to you, just to tell you that we're living in era, this is like end of times, but not in a bad sense. It is a completion of a great cycle, because due to the precessions of the equinoxes, we are entering and leaving different cycles which are based on the changes of the points of the equinoxes and the solstices. We are about to leave the era of Pisces in 360 years, and this is because the point of the vernal equinox right now is positioned in approximately 5th degrees Pisces. So in 360 years, we are entering, the equinox will enter Aquarius. And we, therefore, because these are the last 5 degrees of the sign of Pisces, we are living in last days of this era, last years. 360 years from our perspective is something enormous, but from the universal perspective, this is nothing, because these are only the last 4 and something degrees of Pisces. And when we know that one mini era, while the equinox is traveling through Pisces, is approximately 2000 something years, you can see that 360 years is a joke. So we live in interesting times, and our souls should be happy to be here, to witness this, because it is something that is repetitive. Every completion of cycle is going through similar, not exactly the same, but let's say similar events. Why? Because according to Hermes and according to the 7th principle or law of Hermes, when a new year begins, it begins with a golden era, with a wonderful and beautiful life. But in order to achieve this beautiful life, there is always a fight between dark and light. And then always the light prevails, and we are starting a new era, which will be the era of the Aquarius. And when we start this new era, the era is beautiful and is golden, and immediately starts degradation up until it reaches end of times, what is now happening. That's why we live in interesting times, hermetic times, amazing times, when in the end always the light will prevail. This is something I need to tell you, because in this interesting era, the more conscious, the more awakened, the higher we vibrate, the better we will feel, the easier we will go through these interesting times. So this was one thing that I wanted to tell you before I go into the planetary, magical, beautiful healing, which is simple. In Bulgarian, we have this joke, it's simple like being, that simple it is. So the 8th principle of Hermes, I'm going to read it to you because it is very interesting, and it has to do with what I'm going to tell you in a second. Actually, the 2nd and the 3rd principles I would read you. They're very short. 1st principle, God is one. 2nd principle, man is an image of God. 3rd principle, and this is the one, the whole world, gods, angels, demons, men, beasts, plants, rocks, bees, flowers, just everything is a manifestation of the one God. So, planets, stones, colors, music, people, animals, it's all manifestation of God. And it's all connected, because the micro universe is connected into the macro universe. So it's all one. We only need to understand it. So I will tell you about the planets now. Planets. The planets, of course, are beautifully aligned and mathematically organized into the solar system. They have their planetary spheres and they have mathematically organized way of rotating. And the planets are associated with divinity, which is ruling them, with color, with stone, with a musical note, with gemstone, with metal, with herb, with whatnot, with animal, with whatever occurs into your mind has planetary rulership. The planets also rule, of course, the different body parts. And of course, who is the most important planet, I will say, is the sun, because the planets receive light from the sun. And when we see rainbow on the sky, this is like ancients say, you see the crown of God. So you can see that this is the pure and the most beautiful harmony and light which comes from the planets. So actually, it's all like a beautifully mathematically organized dance in the solar system, and our Earth takes beautiful part into this. So we also know, of course, that every body organ is ruled by a planet. How to receive healing from a planet? Example, the ancient masters, especially, my favorite master being Sadhguru, is saying, what the people is needing? First, light. And he's saying, when you are sick, it is because you're missing light, a certain color from the spectrum of light. You're missing energy, light, and that is why you're sick. So he's saying, you need to receive the needed light and the needed color from the spectrum, and each color has a planetary rulership. We know this. Those of you who follow my channel are familiar that I am doing astrological magic in a way to help people, like remedy, in terms of remedy or achieving goals, or to protect from bad and evil influences. And now this is depending on the same principle which I just mentioned. So he is saying, the master being Sadhguru, when you receive the needed light, then every disease can be healed only with light, because every body organ is ruled by a planet. Every planet has certain color of the solar spectrum, because we are living in the solar system and the planets receive light from the sun. So we say, for example, we have the red light, blue, yellow, orange, violet, and according to the disease we're choosing the respective light. So if, for example, he is saying that you have no energy, that you're lacking energy, then you need the Martian color, which is red. Or if you feel not well and if you feel uncomfortable, it is again Mars who will put you on your feet again. If you do not have desire to go for your daily activities if you do not have impulse to live, then use the orange light of the sun. Sometimes you can have additional more light, more red, and then you would be aggressive, for example, and then you need to be able to balance this. If you, for example, have too much of property or money, and you see that this is making you ill, then the master Sadhguru, and in many other ancient texts, they say to balance the green light into your body, if it's too much, give away a little bit from your fortune, for example, help the poor. So there are many ways to balance the light in your body. But I will tell you, and I will read you which, actually I can tell you straight away, which planets rule which organs and which light is associated with that. If you remember, I made, if you haven't seen it, look at this video, it's very interesting. I made a video, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago, and it was about the vibrations associated with certain diseases and which vibrations are the healing vibrations and which feelings are associated with certain vibrations. It is it is ruled by the same principle of Hermes Trismegistus. And now let me tell you, the planetary rulerships over the body parts. The sun is having orange light, orange color, therefore, and it's ruling the arteries, the back, the heart, and the eyes. And if you feel, and actually only with the welcoming in the morning, the first solar rays, we pretty much receive all needed light from the solar spectrum. And the musical note of the sun is re. And here are what I will tell you. There are beautiful compositions of a planetary music which you can find on the internet, and it's amazing, and they have healing power. But if you find them in the right hertz, the hertz which resonate with the vibration of Mother Earth. So orange food, if you feel that you don't have energy, that you don't have impulse to follow your goals, if you feel that you have heartache, if you feel that you have a spine or back pain, then eat oranges, welcome the sun, get yourself yellow clothes, yellow. And here to the music, there are hymns of the sun, which you can find on the internet, solar music with predominant re. Then we're having the moon. This is the world, the soul. And it is the partially ruling the lungs and the stomach, and this the brain part of the imagination. And the moon, the musical note was fa of the moon. You have the moon sonata. Amazing. If you feel that you need to enhance your intuition, that you need to enhance, that you have digestive issues, listen to the moon sonata. And also the color of the moon. There are many, but they give also as a color of the moon green. So this is one thing. Then let's look at Mercury. He's ruling the brain. He's ruling the nervous system. He's ruling the hands, mouth, speech. Mi is his note, and his color is lemony yellow. You can find music under the rulership of Mercury. And I can tell you who, for example, which composer was this. Yes, for Mercury, Wagner and Mozart are under the influence of Mercury. Of course, there is a mixed rulership over the music, but still predominantly we're talking here. And the color is lemony yellow. And this is the color that you can receive from every morning from the solar spectrum. There are people who use prisms to get the right solar influences. I haven't tried this, but I know that there are people who, and I'm just giving you maybe this idea. If you have a prism and you can receive the exact color from the sun, the color that you need predominantly for your healing. And then Venus, throat, neck, kidneys, chin, internal reproductive organs, breast, mouth. So is the music. Verdi is very much a Venus composer. Color is given to be a very, very tender light blue, pink as well, or or the color that you can see in the tourmaline, this mixture of beautiful strawberry colors, for example, also belong to Venus. Then Mars, Do, is the musical note. Which music? Marching music would be very Martian. But every music I advise you to listen, in order to have really healing powers, to listen with the hertz of the earth. I think it was 432 hertz, but this you can check, but these are the hertz, yes. So muscles, head, nose, left ear, and the visible reproductive organs. Color red. You can wear red. If you feel that you're too Martian, don't wear red. For a balance, take Venus colors, Venus clothes, because Venus is in a very good way can balance Mars. Also because, for many reasons. So this is about Mars. If you feel that you're lacking ambition or desire to live, to achieve your goals, then dress yourself in red, get the red color if you can, eat the foods of Mars, which are all these chili, spicy, poisonous even foods. And then we have Jupiter. Wa is his color, and the supreme color will be dark blue. I know you will say it's from Saturn, but from the spectrum of the solar system, it is dark blue. He rules the liver and tides and the right ear. And the composer who is very, very appropriate was Beethoven, typically Jupiter, and La or Wa is the tone of Jupiter. And I told you about the color. And then we have in Saturn, who is violet, is his color. He is ruling, of course, the bones. He's all about silence, by the way, and he's ruling the ears, teeth, joints, knees. This is about Saturn, and his musical note, I forgot it 1 second, is C, and Puccini is appropriate composer. So this, I hope, was very interesting. At least for me, it's very interesting. I know it works because the talismans which I make are based on this knowledge, on the hermetic knowledge of how the universe and the solar system is aligned, how everything is connected with the other. So actually, the planets are connected with just everything on Earth. And if we have enough knowledge, and I have separate video when I'm explaining how to use the herbs and the herbal rulership. So if we have enough knowledge, we will not need any medics to prescribe us poisonous medications, but we'll be able to use the power of the solar spectrum, the color spectrum, which is related to the planets, which is related to the organs, which is related to the music notes, and all this can become a beautiful, harmonious, healing combination. If you add to these herbs, if you add to this frequency of love, go somewhere in the 200 hertz, healing every disease. I'm talking about the love in the sense of this absolute universal love. Then we will be always healthy. Of course, this can be a bit challenging because we live in difficult time, because we have annoying events and circumstances around us, and it's so difficult to maintain high vibration level. But at the moment when we are awakened and we know what we want, we are already on the right path. So thank you for your attention. I hope this was interesting. Bye-bye. See you next time.